Hi, welcome to Flow Nodes. This is Anton Heestand, and I'm going to show you what this app is about today. So, to start with, if you click the plus button up here, you have all your nodes. So this is a long list of all the nodes that are compatible on the current OS that you're running, and then there's categories to select different, filtering the nodes in different ways. So let's start by creating something. Maybe we can create some shapes. So we have a circle. This is a vector file. What we can do with this is we can chain nodes. So we can do a transform vector, and we can connect these like this. And then we have the properties over here to control the transform. So we can do scale. If we transform it on the x-axis, you can see it's fixed, so it's in points now, but depending on how we zoom, that will differ, because if we're zooming out, it's in absolute points, but we can change this to be flexible, and then when we transform it to the side, it will always stay there at all the zoom levels. Okay, so what more can we do with the vector shapes? So we could transform them into, or convert them into graphics. So say that we want to do a blur effect. There's two types of blurs here that pop up. There's 3D graphics and there's graphics that are 2D. We're just going to deal with 2D graphics for now. And if we connect these two nodes, you'll see that we get a third node, or a fourth node in this case, that converts the vector to a graphic. And that has settings, so we can get in resolution. We can say if we want to have it stroked or if we want to have it solid. We can change the colors. But then essentially we can apply pixel effects onto vector graphics. It's not vector anymore at this stage, but we can control it if we want to have a pixelated output, a graphic output. Now if we want to save this, we can right click or save the files, or in a future version you'll be able to save directly from the side here. So now this is a pipeline, so everything will update once we update the radius. It will update down the line. And yeah, that's kind of the flow. So one of these projects is called a flow, and flow contains a bunch of nodes, and then the nodes can do a bunch of different manipulations. So in this case, data is flowing downstream from left to right, but there's also possibilities to flow upstream. So if we look at another example, let me remove these. And let's look at another example where data flows upstream. So for this example, we're going to use strings. So we're going to start with the string state. States are the place where we store data. So this is just going to store a text. So we can start with some text. Hello world. And now if you want to edit this text, we can do an edit, maybe a field, a text field. It's an interface node. So if we pipe this in, we can now edit this text here from the node, and it updates upstream. So this double wire means that data flows in both directions. And we can duplicate this one and have multiple nodes control. You see they all control, they all flow upstream and then downstream, so everything updates at the same time. So let's look at some other examples, some other nodes. We can look at more of some graphics nodes. So say that we have some noise. We can have a noise, we can color it, and then we can do a displacement. We can take the circle that we had and we can try to displace it. So there's two approaches to this. One is trying to do this in vector, which is at the current point not as easy to do as doing it in pixels with graphics. So we'll just drop down a displace modifier effect, and the input graphic will be the vector shape. We'll convert that, and then we displace it with this modifier graphic. And you can see some artifacts here on the sides. This is because we're stretching this extend mode. What happens to the pixels that are outside of the current frame? So we can mirror, or we can loop, or we can have 0. If we change the scale of this, we can get a little bit nicer blob. Okay, so let's try to animate this. So we can do that with a stopwatch. And we connect the time to the depth offset. And then we just hit run. And now not much is happening, but the time is ticking, and I think we just gotta up the speed here because it's going 1 second per pixel in depth. So say we want to have maybe 1,000. So that will animate the noise, and the displace will animate too. So down here in the left corner we see the pause button. So all the nodes that have anything to do with time can be paused. And that will pause all the time in the app, including the camera or whatever node is using time. And you can resume whenever. So if your project is getting heavy, you can pause the time. But yeah, that's it for now. I'm gonna make more videos, and I'll see you next time.